I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Look till we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode today. But this time, again, I'm not alone. I got two of the Refuse to Lose family members with me. I got Joe. Say what up to the people, Joe.
What's up, people? What's happening?
All right, and I got my boy Dave. Say what up, Dave.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back.
All right, so as y'all can see from the title, we will be recapping the chat rematch of Wake Forest and Duke. But before we do that, I would like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps this channel. It helps the network, my channel, Carl Talking College, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy, which baseball is now currently in spring training. Don't want to talk about that too much because my Tigers got whooped, but hey, spring training. Records reset. We got FFC, which coming soon. Fantasy football is over. Just be on the lookout for the next episode by him. We got Kings Talk with Joe, where he talks about the Kings game. He just did an episode about them against the Spurs. We got Dave's Doghouse, who went live recently. He puts dogs in a doghouse, and he also let dogs roam the yard. We have Indie Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Fast Camp, who should be going live today. I'm pretty sure they're going live today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, later around like 7:30. We got RBO featuring Vaughn, where he just gave mid-season grades for all but one team because he let the one person wait till Wednesday so he could be on the show to talk about it. Dave said one person, so he let his go. And I think that's all the shows we have on the network. The main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. They go live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, 9 in the morning. So check them out early in the morning to get your morning fix for sports. And that's all the shows we have. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and just listen to a couple videos. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, the chat rematch recap. Yesterday, 2 o'clock, there was a showdown in Winston-Salem. Duke came in to Wake Forest. Duke came in ranked number 8. Duke came in with the home win and the Cameron Indoor against Wake Forest, but they left with an L. They lose 79-83 to Wake Forest. Hunter Silas had a huge game, 29 points. Just only missed 2 shots, was almost unstoppable last night. Andrew Carr hit some big buckets, a big 3 late in the game to put him up 1. Cam Hildreth with another hit a big 3 to put him up 4. Both Carr and Hildreth hit free throws down the line to help the lead. Then got a huge turnover late in the game. Tyrese parked off of a miss, comes down, 10 seconds left, no timeouts. They just scrambled, try to get a good shot, throws the ball. Kind of a bad pass. He kind of was so close, and the ball just ricocheted. Wake Forest comes away with it, hits 2 free throws, and ices the game. But, man, like I said, what a great game it was yesterday. Wake Forest gets the dub. Joe, I'm going to go to you first.
Oh, okay. All right. First off, if you are a part of that, first, thanks for having me again. If you're a part of the R2L family, you know that teams that we rarely have dubs like this. All right. So I'm cherishing the moment right now. So it was a good game from start to finish. I felt like the first half, Duke had our number, in my opinion, but we had a couple of guys that kept us in, Poopy, what somebody tried to say. He kept us in the game with the, with the long threes he had. He went to the cup and got a bucket too, but He kept us in the game the first half. But these are the keys I said. I said we're gonna force more turnovers. I look at the turnover numbers. They had 11 turnovers to our 6. All right. Now I said the free throws not gonna be as lopsided like it was in the first game. And free throws, they shot 20, we shot 22. So we took more free throws on this game. All right. And the 3-point shooting. You mentioned 3-point shooting. All right. Both teams shot well from 3. They shot 44%. We shot 52%. And one of the things I said also was Silas, man, like he's unstoppable against Duke. I mean, the first game, I felt like he got everything he wanted. He took 20 shots the first game. I say he should have taken more because Reed was out. Reed played almost the whole game. He stayed out of foul trouble. His presence alone was a problem. Like he wasn't disrupting stuff, but he, just keeping his hands, being big. Like that helped a lot. And my man, like he said, 29 points, 11 13 from the field, and he missed 2 shots. I don't know how in that stretch. He had like 3 wide open threes. I don't know how Duke missed them 3 times in a row, and he had cashed out all 3 too. And so yeah, it was a great game. Like you said, my boy hit that clutch 3 on the corner. But yeah, it was a great win. Duke came to play though. What's the name? Proctor. Proctor cut them in the game. And what's the other guy name? The senior I asked you about, Dave?
Jeremy Roach.
Yeah, man. Like I could just tell he's been here before. Like he was poised. He was hitting big clutch mid-range jumpers to keep y'all afloat also. But overall, it was an exciting game. I'm glad we got the dub.
Yeah, definitely was a good game. I caught the second half because, of course, I was at work during most of the game, but I left early so I could be able to watch the game. And from then on, when I came in, it seemed like we got the momentum, and then next thing you know, Wake Forest defense started forcing a lot of turnovers. And then we just kept having bad passes. We were taking bad shots. I'm not sure what some of the decisions we were making. But yeah, we had no answer for Silas. Carr was making a lot of clutch buckets in the game as well. He had a key fade on Kyle Filipowski's. He had a 3 in the corner. He was balling in that game, man. And then the other guy was it Hildreth. He was hitting some key buckets in the end. It was not much. Even though we had Reed in foul trouble, it didn't make a difference because we were doing. They did whatever they wanted on offense. And Silas was going off every time they made a switch and put Tyrese Proctor on him. It's like he just took advantage of having Proctor on him and just kept dropping the ball. But even when we had someone else on him, he still was able to make a play.
Yeah, he was cooking.
So it didn't matter exactly who we put on him, but he felt like he was feasting whenever he saw Tyrese Proctor in front of him. But Tyrese Proctor did keep us in the game in the first half. From what I saw, because I rewatched the game. I rewatched the game this morning when I got up. I had to go back and look at it. But Tyrese Proctor was the one that kept us in the game in the first half, and then Jeremy McCain hit 2 clutch threes in the second half that got us right back into the game. Jeremy Roach was making some key buckets. He hit like 2 key and ones in the second half. But it was just the turnovers in the end. The turnovers at the end and just the bad shot attempts that we was taking in the end. And Wake Forest took advantage of all that. The Wake Forest environment was crazy. They did everything they needed to do to win that game, and they came away with the dub.
Hey, Carl, before you go, I can say one more thing. Mitchell killed us the first game. We held him in check this game. He did have 2 key offensive rebounds, though, I felt like it's funny because after the game, I checked the stats, and I'm like, he only had 2 offensive rebounds. But I felt like those 2 rebounds was like big. And but he's only 2 for 5. He only had 6 points. And I think both his buckets were like nothing he created on the dribble.
And then he had a bad 3-point shot in the corner. I'm like,
he was wide open though, but he missed that.
But I don't know why he shot
open or not.
He messed up.
I don't care if he was wide open or not. He just shouldn't have shot that. I don't know why. What made him think he was gonna make that?
And shout out to Carl, like you said, Andrew Carl. Shout out to him. He fought out last game. Turned up this game though.
Yeah, he balled out. I ain't gonna lie.
All right. So boom, right. I'm glad you brought up Mark Mitchell, Joe, because I was gonna do it. I think I said on the show, what was it? Yesterday? I don't expect Mark Mitchell to have 23 again. He led Duke in scoring at home, the home game. I'm not expecting that to happen again. I said on the show, do you expect Cam Hildreth to shoot 1 for 9, 0 for whatever from 3 again? No. Boopy Miller, you expect him to go over from 3? No. These guys stepped up and made huge shots.
Well, Hildreth only had 3, so it's not like he had a a monstrous game from 3.
Huh?
So Hildreth only hit 1 3. He only took 1 3 and
he
made
barely shot the ball too though, and he hit a huge 3.
That was
Let
a clutch
alone he didn't go 0 for. He didn't go 1 for 9, 0 for from 3. He had a huge 3. He had some free throws down the stretch, and I think he had a key pass down the stretch too. I think to Carr.
Yeah, he did. I think that was the pass to Carr in the corner, or was that? Or was that Booby? No, Booby had that pass.
Yeah, but like I said, Cam Hildreth was not going to go over. He only took one shot in the first half. Now, granted, it was a bad shot. I don't know why he shot it. He like drove into like double coverage, turned and shot a bad fadeaway. But he had a pretty good game, especially in the second half. Boopy Miller, he had a really good first half. I wouldn't say not so much of a better second half, but he barely shot as well in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But like we all said, Hunter Silas had a huge game. He played well from start to finish. And then, like we all said, Carr and Hildreth towards the end iced it. Now, like I said about Tyrese Park, the first half, I think until maybe, I say like 12, 13 minutes left in the second half, kept Duke in the game. Then Jerry McClain hit a huge 3, and it was a deep 3. It was like an NBA range 3 to put Duke up 4. Wake Forest called the timeout, recoups. Afton Reed gets back in the game because that was another piece that we forgetting about. Afton Reed was in foul trouble when Duke took the lead when they kept hitting them threes. After Reed comes back, like Joe was saying, he was a presence. He was for sure a presence because you could tell the difference in Wake Forest with Reed on the court and without Reed on the court. It's a major difference. So he comes back, defense gets it together. They get a couple turnovers. Andrew Carr hits a couple big buckets, and Wake Forest comes out with the dub. Now, also want to talk about this. Jeremy Roach did hit big shots late in the second half, but he also had key turnovers with under 4 minutes left that led Wake Forest to win the game. Now, Tyrese Proctor did have the one turnover with the 10-second scramble with no timeouts, which I don't even know why they had no timeouts that late in the game. But that just happens. It's college basketball. Boopy Miller misses a free throw. They're scrambling, trying to get a good shot. The Wake Forest played good defense. They're not going to let you get to the cup easily. They know they're down 2. They can't give up a layup or overtime. They don't want overtime because Reed already has 4 fouls. You don't want to play extra 5 minutes with that. So Proctor, he turned the ball over late, but Proctor's turnover, I think, was probably a product of them not having a timeout and not having I didn't think they even had a game plan for him to miss. Like they probably was just, he missed. We don't know what to do and scramble and just turn the ball over. It happens. Roach's turnovers, I think, were more important than Proctor's turnover at the end of the game. Also, Proctor did have the assist to Kyle Filipkowski, who hit the 3 to cut it to 2. That was off of a Tyrese Proctor assist. So I'm not going to kill Proctor as much. Roach, like I said, late in the game, got to take care of the ball, especially being the senior guy on the team. Jerry McClain had a really good second half for sure. A lot of people call him special. I think he's a really good Duke player. I think he could do things in the NBA. Special, I don't know yet, but he's really good. Jerry McClain is really good. But Wake Forest, just a great dub. There's a huge resume builder, by the way, too. Like I told you on the show yesterday, with this dub, matched with the 40-point or whatever point blowout win it was to pick, should for sure get y'all in the tournament. And like I told you last night, they went from next 4 out to last 4 in, which is crazy because in a week span, you go from next 4 out to last 4 out to last 4 in. It jumps like 8 teams. And if y'all could keep building, make a tournament run, y'all should for sure be an at-large bid into the tournament since 2017. And speaking of, y'all talked about the environment. First sellout since 2017 season at home, and what a difference it made.
Yes, sir.
Definitely made a difference.
Yeah, man. Like it was a great game. I think the atmosphere was really good, and our key like Carl had a big game, man. He stepped up big time, like down the stretch. He had 18, 8 for 14. Now I do think that last shot he took at the end of the shot clock, I think we forced that. I think once he got out of position, he should have kicked it back out to Silas, man. Silas had 29. Like I understand Carl was on a roll, but I think Silas we should put the ball in his hands at that moment. But it all worked, like you said. After that was a scramble drill. We got the steal. It didn't really matter after that. But man, big win. Let's get in that tourney, man. Oh yeah. For those who watching, I got my Kings, hoodie on. I'm looking forward to my Wake Forest hoodie coming in soon. So
that's thanks to Teddy.
Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate it. Here's some words I wrote down. We're just Duke. That's what Dave said. We're just better. That's what Teddy said. the Cameron crazies. He forgot we played at Wake and went to Salem, and so I'm just it's just fun.
I'm pretty sure Teddy said Cameron Cage is not.
He did. I'm like, what they gotta do with this game right here? Like,
I remember that too. I was thinking the same thing.
I said that in my head. I was like, but we playing with Salem right now. We not yet do.
So they heard Teddy and they sold out their arena. Let's get it, man. Get ready.
All right, Dave. You got anything else you want to say before we talk about something that happened later in the game? Well, technically after the game.
After the game, no, not really. I mean, I get what you feel about Tyrese Proctor. I never said that it was all on him. I just in that heat of the moment, I was like, come on, man, like you can't have that turned off at that moment. They had missed a shot, we had a chance to tie it, so that just ended the opportunity for us to even send it to overtime. That was the reason why I put that in the chat.
I got you. All right, so we have to talk about one last thing before we move on, and that was Kyle Filipkowski getting hurt at the end of the game due to a court storming, or well, I should say due to the court storming. Yeah. So as I know, Wake Forest wins the game. The student section, everybody, they stormed the floor, which has been outlawed.
Hey, Carl, sorry to interrupt you, but I have to roll it out right now.
All right. Before I get into it, then Joe, give me your last words.
Hey, appreciate CTC. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the R2L community. Because of R2L, I got 2 King jerseys, a Commanders hat, and now 2 Wake Forest things are coming my way. Appreciate it, y'all. Let's get it.
We don't talk about all the things I won when it comes to that. I think I won the most stuff when it comes to these
I got a whole closet for the sports stuff now. Dang. Couldn't do without you, R2L.
Appreciate you for coming on the show, Joe.
Appreciate you for having me. Let's get it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All
right, Dave. So let's talk about it. Kyle Filipkowski, he gets hurt in the court storming. And off initial reaction, everybody, including us, we were like, dang, the court storming got Kyle Filipkowski hurt. Then more and more different camera angles came out of the court storming and Kyle Filipkowski. And it appears to show that Kyle Filipkowski, while walking off the floor, tries to trip and push a student. He whiffs. Another student then pushes him in the back, and he is now injured. We all don't know the specificity of the injury. We hear sprained ankle, thanks to Dave. We hear sprained ankle, but it hasn't really been confirmed. It'll probably get confirmed later on today. But I would like to hear your thoughts about the court storming, the injury, and things like that.
Well, I'm going to say what I said in the chat. So I don't know if everyone knows, but Kyle Filipkowski shaved his hips to be able to have more flexibility.
Go ahead.
To have more flexibility in the game. If he shaved his foot, maybe his ankle wouldn't have got hurt. That's what I said in the chat. But look, in all seriousness, man, Kyle, you got to take some accountability for that, man. Because if you wouldn't have did what you did, you probably wouldn't have got pushed in the back. Now, granted, I do think that the stork combing did cause the injury, but it's also because of what you did during the court storming. Like, come on, man. You can't. I get it. You're trying to get out. And I saw it when they started rushing and you were trying to go. And I think someone may have slightly bumped you and then you push someone. Like, you can't do that, Kyle. And then you don't go on and say that they intentionally did that. You shouldn't have pushed somebody. Like, that was most of the shows are not going to say that. But we here in the R2L family are going to be honest about what we see. So we saw what you did, Kyle, and I'm a Duke fan, so I definitely don't want you to be hurt. But you also got to take accountability in that. Court storming has been outlawed for years now, so it shouldn't have happened, and that situation shouldn't have happened at all. But it also would have been prevented if we won the game. If we won the game, that wouldn't have happened. And also, if you didn't push the student, that wouldn't have happened to you either. So take some accountability in that, Kyle. But court storming definitely needs to be outlawed. You heard John Shire after in the post-game presser said that something needs to be done about that. But also the AD for Wake Forest also said that something needs to be done about that because it shouldn't have happened. But Kyle, take accountability for that. That wasn't necessarily intentional to get you hurt, but that was retaliation because of what you did. You pushed somebody, so you got pushed.
Exactly. All right. So this is how I feel about it, right? So court storming has been outlawed for quite some time. I think if I remember correctly, it's been since like 2017, 2018. I'll look it up. But court storming still happen. Teams, colleges, I should say, do get fined for it because it happened. We just seen a court storming this same week, LSU, Kentucky, where LSU got fined, $100,000 by the SEC, but nobody got hurt. Kentucky didn't try to push anybody. Nobody tried to push Kentucky. They just stormed the floor. Regular things happen. We just saw one with Creighton and UConn. Creighton rushed the floor after blowing out UConn. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got injured. Now, would Kyle Filipkowski got hurt if he didn't try to trip and push a student, whiff on it, because he tried, but he really missed. He whiffed. Now, when he whiffs, he's off balance. He's trying to get his balance, but you're trying to get your balance in a stampede. Like it's a court storming. They're not going. It's so hard for people to move out your way while you're falling because you whiffed on pushing a student, and then another student pushes you from behind because he saw you try to push another student, and now you're hurt. But then you go to, this is what I don't like, right? So that happens. You go to the press conference, like you said, and you make it seem like you didn't do anything and the court storming itself got you hurt. No, you did something that caused you to put yourself in harm's way in a dangerous situation and you got hurt. What I've always been told in my life is you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You were upset because you lost to Wake Forest. You got upset. You try to push a kid, try to take your anger out on a kid who's just celebrating the win. Another kid sees it. You whiff, you get hurt. Now it's John Shire, now you, and whoever that lady was in the video yelling F you or whatever to the kid in the crowd or whoever in the crowd are all upset because you're hurt. But in reality, you could have prevented yourself from getting hurt. And like you said, Dave, he needs to take the accountability for that. Do I agree that court storming needs to get outlawed? I might feel differently than you because I don't, because it's
no, I don't. I'm not. So I don't think it should be outlawed. I'm saying it has been outlawed.
Okay, I got you. That's on me. That's on me. But I don't think it should be outlawed. It's a major part of college basketball. It's what makes college basketball so different.
It happens in college football too, where they storm the field. So
and that's way more dangerous because they got to hop down from
and nobody's gotten hurt from that. From what I've heard. So if it's a lot, and I mean it's not allowed in college football either, they get fined too. But still, I mean, come on, it's part of the game. It's always been it's been a part of college sports for a long time.
Yeah, it's what makes it different. It's what makes the environment of college basketball and college sports in general so much better than a professional level. Yeah. So I don't think it should be outlawed. I was actually one that was sad when it was outlawed, but people do it anyway. They don't care because they don't have to pay for it. And these universities, they make so much money, they don't care if they got to pay for it. To be honest,
yeah, 100,000
generates more.
100,000 to them is like $100.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, there you go.
So I'm more so mad at Cal in the situation. I'm more so disappointed with how Duke came out and made it seem like in the situation. And I will say this. I woke up this morning and I started to see more and more people start to blame Kyle for the incident when I woke up this morning, as opposed to what we all did when we first saw it. We all thought that the court storming got him hurt. We all thought he was just trying to get off the floor. He got ran over by a bunch of students and got hurt. But I will say that I am more so happy to see people are trying to hold Cal accountable for his actions as opposed to just blaming the student and just blaming kids. Oh, these kids, they're so crazy and all this stuff. I will say I'm happy to see that. Now, going forward, I don't know what you're going to do because it's already outlawed. It happens anyway. Upsets happen. And this injury, you can't blame it on the court storming. So I don't know how you handle this moving forward. I cannot answer that question. But what I will say is hold your emotions. Keep your emotions in check and don't try to take out a loss which you had 100% control of changing the outcome in that. Don't try to use that anger and misdirect it somewhere else. Just get off the floor. Hey, you're 7 feet. You can take somebody running into you and just keeping it pushing until off the floor again and getting out the way. So just walk off the court. If you're mad, get in the locker room, throw something at the locker room, do what you got to do in the locker room. But don't try to take your anger out on a random student because, as you can see, you can miss and you can get hurt.
Yep, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, so that's our take on the court storming. Dave, I appreciate you for coming on the show. Sorry about the outcome of your game, only because you're a fan. I mean, I went with Wake Forest, so I got to take my dub.
And you also don't like Duke, so it's all good. I get it. I understand.
Yeah, that is also true. But I try to be unbiased. As you know, I be unbiased on the show, so that has nothing.
We are both mostly unbiased.
Yeah.
We are mostly unbiased. Exactly. We not the delusional fans that we happen to come across in the chats all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, dunk contest. Anyway.
Exactly.
So
man, thanks again for having me on the show. Like I said, I always love coming on here. Like I said, I'm trying to be, as I said before, the most diverse fan in the chat. So I'm always glad to be able to talk about college sports. And I'm just as excited about college sports as you are. It's just you know a lot more than I do, but I love watching the game. So I appreciate being on here.
Man, appreciate you for coming on the show, man. Hey, as y'all know, open door policy. You want to come on, talk about your team, talk about the matchup, just let me know. Free to come on the show and talk about it. But like I said, appreciate you for coming on. And I'm gonna see you in the chats.
See you, my guy.
All right. So that was the Duke Wake Forest recap. And I got 3 games to watch tonight, 2 in the American Conference, mid-major technically. And I got 1 in the Big Ten. And we'll start with SMU at South Florida. SMU is actually favored in this one on the road, which in my opinion is disrespectful to South Florida. But we'll get into it. They play at 12 o'clock on ESPN2. SMU is led by Zoric Phelps, averaging 14.7 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, and 2 steals per game. Chuck Harris averaging 13.4 points per game, 3.6 assists per game, and 1 steal per game. And Samuel Williamson, 9 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, and 1.1 steals per game. And this game, I think the X factor will be Jalen Smith, and he has to bring that scoring off the bench against a pretty good South Florida defense, against a South Florida team who got a bucket coming off the bench, Selton Miguel. So he got to bring that scoring off the bench. They're 32nd in assists in the country, averaging 16.2 assists per game. They're 28th in bench points, averaging 27.85 points per game off the bench, which is huge in this game. They're 19-8, 10-4 in the American Conference. They had a 6-game win streak prior to losing to FAU by 10 on the road. And they are also 5-5 on the road. Now, USF, led by Chris Youngblood, 15 points per game. Shelton Miguel, 14.8 points per game, 1 steal per game off the bench. And Keyshawn Pryor, 11.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, and 1.2 steals per game. X factor, in my opinion, is going to be Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, the point guard coming off the bench, he did have some games where he started. But I think his 3-point shooting off the bench is going to be a major factor in this one. He's shooting 46% from 3. I saw somewhere he was shooting 55% at home. They are playing at home. They are 33rd in bench points, 27.32. So 0.5 points off of SMU. So pretty much even there. They are 74th in field goal percentage defense, allowing teams to shoot only 41.8 or 42% from the field. USF South Florida, they are 20-5, 13-1 in the American, 12-game win streak, and 13-2 at home. And they're underdogs. Are we serious? Give me USF to go for win streak total number 13. I think USF beats SMU. USF is a really good team. They're really a really good second half team. SMU in the second half can get spotty. They play you really well in the first half. Second half could be a little and then that's going to kill them against a really good second half team in South Florida. Plus South Florida playing at home, really good at home. SMU not too well on the road, about even on the road, 500. Think that this goes to South Florida. We move on to FAU at Memphis. FAU coming off of a win against SMU. Memphis coming off a huge win against Charlotte, which they needed. FAU, they play at 2 o'clock on ESPN. Now, FAU is favored on the road by 1.5, as y'all can see. And they're led by Janelle Davis, 18.3 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, and 1.6 steals per game. Vlad Golden, 14.7 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game, and 1.5 blocks per game. And Elijah Martin, 13.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, and 1.7 steals per game. Now, the X factor in this one to me is going to be Brian Greenlee. His defense on JQ, possibly even David Jones, is going to be huge in this one. And he can also contribute scoring, maybe a 3-pointer here and there. They're 16th in scoring offense, 83.3 points per game, and 30th in field goal percentage, shooting 48% from the field. Now they are currently 21-6, 11-3 in American, 2 games behind USF, but they are currently 4-4 on the road, and they are 1-2. Oh, in their last 3 on the road, I had to read my handwriting for a second. My bad. So out of their last 3 road games, they are 1-2. Now for Memphis, led by David Jones, 21.6 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 2.1 steals per game. JQ, Javon Quinterly, 13.3 points per game, 4.9 assists per game, and 1.3 steals per game. Naquan Tomlin, 11.3 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, and 1 block per game. The X factor for Memphis, in my opinion, is going to be Malcolm Dandridge. His defense on Big Vlad is going to be key. He cannot allow Big Vlad to go crazy down low. He cannot allow Big Vlad to start to facilitate, because now the defense is more so keying in on Vlad, and that gives open shots to Jonell, Elijah, and guys like that. So his defense one-on-one with Vlad is going to be key. Memphis is 48th in scoring offense, averaging 80 points per game, so 3.3 off of FAU. They're 27th in the country in steals per game, averaging 8.7 steals. Now, currently, Memphis is 19-8, 8-6. They had a bad January, but February they're 4-2, and they're 11-2 at the crib. But I'm going to roll with FAU. FAU got a much-needed win against SMU. Memphis just hasn't been looking the same since Caleb Mills been out for the rest of the year. Jaquan Walton, he just hasn't been what I thought he would be coming from Wichita State. I think FAU is a really good offensive team. They play solid defense. I think they will be good enough to get the win against Memphis. Memphis, I wouldn't say they've been reeling, because like I said, February has been good to them, but they were reeling at a point in time. You just don't know what Memphis you're going to get. And I if anything, I know what FAU I'm going to get, so give me FAU to win this game. Now, my last game I have for y'all is the last game of the night. It's a Big Ten game. This game is huge for Big Ten seeding in the tournament. Right now, Minnesota is half a game behind MSU, while Nebraska owns the tiebreaker with MSU, so they're above MSU. Minnesota wins, they'll be above. It'll just flip. So whoever wins, no. If Nebraska wins, they'll still be a game and a half above MSU. If Minnesota wins, they will flip. Nebraska will be below us. So let's get into it. Minnesota, Nebraska, 6:30 Big Ten Network. Minnesota is led by Dawson Garcia, 17.7 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, and 1 block per game. Cam Christie, 11 points per game. Elijah Hawkins, 9.1 points per game, 7.6 assists per game, and 1.8 steals per game. Oh, and 3.8 rebounds per game. In my opinion, the X factor in this is going to be Mike Mitchell Jr., and it's because of his scoring ability. Nebraska at home is really, really solid. They're really good, as you'll learn later. And I think Mike Mitchell is going to have to bring buckets to the party. His scoring is going to be huge in this one. Now, Minnesota is 5th in this country in assists with an 18.4 a game, and 28th in assist to turnover ratio, averaging 1.53 assist to turnover ratio per game. Minnesota is 17-9, 8-7 in the Big Ten, but they are 2-5 on the road, and the 3 games out of the last 5 that they all won have all been at home. As y'all know, they're on the road. Now, Nebraska is led by Rink Mass, 13 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, and 3.1 assists per game. KC Tominanga, the Asian bucket, 14.4 points per game, who's actually their lead scorer. Bryce Williams, 12.8 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, and 1 steal per game. Now, their X factor, in my opinion, is going to be Juwan Gary, and it's because I think he will be guarding Cam Christie tonight, and if so, his defense on Cam Christie will be vital. Juwan Gary is what you would describe a junkyard dog to be, just such a dog defensively. He does the dirty work a lot, so I think he's going to be the X factor. Now, Nebraska is 81st in scoring offense, averaging 77.3 points per game. Nebraska is 19-8, 9-7 in the Big Ten, 16-1 at home, but in the Big Ten, they are undefeated at home. Their one loss was to Creighton at home, which is not a conference game. Creighton's in the Big East. So Nebraska's undefeated in the Big Ten at home. And for that reason, I'm going with Nebraska. Nebraska is a great home team. It's night and day, Nebraska at home and on the road. Just like Minnesota, it's night and day when Minnesota plays at the barn and when they're not at the barn. And they're not at the barn tonight. So give me Nebraska to win the game. Minnesota is a really good team. Dawson Garcia is a really good player. But Minnesota on the road is just not good. It's not that good. It's not good enough. Nebraska at home seems like a juggernaut. Give me Nebraska to win the game. With that win, they will then be a game and a half. Well, take that back, because if MSU wins, it'll still be a half a game, because MSU does play Ohio State today. I'm not going over the game because Ohio State seeding in the Big Ten is so low. I'm not going to go over it, but it'll be a half a game if Michigan State beats Ohio State at home tonight. So I'll just say a half a game to a game and a half, whatever it may be. Just give me Nebraska for the win. Now, those are the 3 games I have for y'all tonight. Sunday slate is not as big as Saturday. It never has, never will be. But enjoy the slate nonetheless. I should be coming back to y'all tomorrow to talk about these updated polls. You know what? Let me fix this banner real quick. We'll do this real quick. Let's talk about some upsets in college basketball, because there was a ton. We got some upsets to talk about. Hold on, I gotta fix the banner one more time. Just made this banner. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about last night. Duke gets upset on the road to Wake Forest. We talked about that. Washington State gets upset on the road to Arizona State. And Washington State had the lead at 4-0 at the beginning of the game, lost the lead, and would never touch the lead again. Arizona State had every counter punch for Washington State when they tried to come back to take the lead. Just a great game by Arizona State. Washington State had a couple turnovers. I remember one time it was like 24-26. I think not Miles Rice. The big fella got a rebound, tried to outlet the Miles Rice at half court, turnover. Arizona State goes down to score. It's just every time Washington State made a push to take the lead, Arizona State was having none of it. Another upset we had, Kentucky LSU. Not yesterday, but in general. Not all of these upsets are going to be from yesterday. LSU was able to just, again, counter punch. LSU hit a crazy buzzer beater at the end of the game to beat Kentucky. LSU has now beaten Kentucky and South Carolina within the same, not week, but, same time periods, earning 2 great wins. Now, they did just lose to Mississippi State last night, but LSU, what a little ride they had. You had, well, I don't know why people mention Baylor losing because it's a top seed, but they lost to Houston. It's not an upset. I mean, Houston's ranked, 2, 3 in the country? Not an upset, fellas. You had the UConn Creighton. Oh, my God. UConn Creighton upset was crazy. Stephen Ashworth turned into Jimmer for that out of nowhere. I love Stephen Ashworth, the transfer from Utah State. I love them at Utah State. Had a monster game monster first half against UConn. UConn had no answers for Stephen. Could not combat that explosive first half. They go down. This is not an upset, but it ends an 11-12 game streak. Not game, but 11-12 year streak. UNC finally gets a W in Charlottesville. They hold Virginia to 45 points. Now the score at halftime was like 26-16, but my X Factor quarterback Ryan had like 12. So UNC finally gets it done. First one in Virginia since 11-12 season. Shout out to them for that one. Believe they still have a strong hold on the ACC regular season championship. Let's see what else happened in college basketball. This is also not an upset, but UC San Diego comes through, beats UC Irvine in overtime. Bryce Pope with 32 points. Patterson hit a key 3. Been only played in 5 games. Comes in, hit a huge 3. Tate Jones hit some free throws late in the game to ice it. But Bryce Pope hits a crazy 3 that sends it in overtime. Due to a missed free throw by UC Irvine. Now UC Irvine, UC San Diego, both 13-3, both hold wins against each other in the Big West. UC San Diego, however, cannot play in the Big West tournament, cannot play in the NCAA tournament, cannot play in the NIT. So UC San Diego is trying to win the Big West regular season championship. And then I want them to take the CBI Invitational. just so they could play more basketball. I get to watch them, and they can go and try to win a CBI tournament. I'm gonna change this. Banner because I'm gonna change it from upsets to news in CBB because not all of it is upset. I want to also talk about St. Mary's. St. Mary's goes and gets a huge win, 26 points against San Diego. I'm messing it up, but University of San Diego, not UC San Diego. They go and win by 26 against San Diego. They now are one Pepperdine win away. If they beat Pepperdine away from going and winning the WCC outright. Right now, they have clinched a share of the WCC with the win against Gonzaga. They're currently undefeated in the WCC. 2 games left. If Gonzaga goes 2-0, St. Mary's goes 0-2, which would include losing to Pepperdine and Gonzaga because that's what they finished the season with. They will both split the WCC regular season title. They beat Pepperdine. Gonzaga has no way of splitting. They win the WCC outright. So shout out to them. Gonzaga beat Santa Clara to, again, keep pace kind of with St. Mary's. You have Colorado State. UNLV upsets Colorado State and Thomas Mackey Arena. They've just been playing spoiler like that people have been saying all year. 2 wins against New Mexico. Beat Colorado State, which that's an upset in itself. New Mexico losing the Air Force at the pit. Don't know what happened. Air Force hits a late game 3 to win it. But Colorado State now takes 2 L's after being ranked. They should fall out the rankings. Just a crazy Mountain West. The Mountain West is absolutely insane. Right now, that's all I got for y'all news in college basketball. It's been an eventful February. Some conference tournaments are around the corner. I think for some conferences, this is the last week. Next week is the last week of regular season play before conference tournaments. So March Madness is just around the corner. Is that season that people love. Again, I should be back tomorrow to go over poll talks and some games. I know Miami plays North Carolina. I don't even know if I'm going to go over that game, to be honest. Oh, speaking of Miami, disappointing year for Miami. They take an L to Georgia Tech by 5. Georgia Tech coming off a blowout loss to, was it Syracuse? They just got blown out by somebody. Damon Stoudemire made a comment in the press conference saying things have changed when I get my guys in, and the guys he have currently responded, beat Miami. So just a disappointing year for Jim Larinaga and the guys. They won't make the tournament. Probably won't even make the NIT. I don't know, but just disappointing for them nonetheless. But that's everything I have for y'all. And until tomorrow, I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.